Internet, Eric here. Tonight's movie review will be a brand new movie. It came out just last week. I normally don't review brand new movies. I try to give people a chance to see these movies, whether they be from the 80s, from the 90s, a couple years old, what have you. So there's a chance where, because when I discuss movies, I usually discuss, or when I'm discussing it, there's usually potential spoilers, what have you. But tonight, I'm reviewing Suicide Squad. Give you my opinion of that. Now, like I said, this is brand new. It came out just last week. If you have yet to see it, there will be some minor spoilers in this review. I'm not going to say anything that you could not have found online before the film's release. Okay, be it trailers, interviews, what have you. But if you still have yet to see this film, please stop now, just in case. If you're worried for spoilers, go see the film and then come back. And hey, you know what? That might give me another view, so that'll be cool. Yeah, Suicide Squad. I don't really know jack shit about any of these characters. Okay, I'm going to say that right now. I know a lot about the Joker. I know very little about Harley Quinn. All I really know about Harley Quinn's character is she was in the 1990s animated Batman show, the cartoon, and I haven't seen that in probably since its initial run. So I don't know jack shit about her character other than one or two things. Everyone else in this film, other than Killer Croc, and I only know a little bit about Killer Croc, I don't know anything. So that's getting out there right now. So, with that in mind, going in blind, I want to say that I really enjoyed Suicide Squad. And I'll say why, even though it is not without its faults. Now, like I said, potential spoilers. The plot here is Amanda Waller, played by, what's her name, Viola Davis? Where's her name? It's up there somewhere. It's not in the credits, but yeah, I believe it's Viola Davis. If it's not, I'll put subtitles here. She is recruiting a group of supervillains to go on this mission because basically, she knows there's like superhumans out there, what they call metahumans, people born with abilities. Because in DC they're not going to say mutants or anything like that. Gets a group of villains together. Because she knows if this plan goes wrong, she can obviously blame them and throw them under the bus, and they'll just get more prison time. So they are being broken out or taken out of prison, have to go rescue this one person, while the main villain is building a machine that will help them take over the world, blah, blah, blah. While this rescue mission is happening, the Joker is trying to rescue Harley Quinn from this group to go with him. Lots of shit happens. That's the basic plot. It's this very typical comic book film. Now, let's see here. Let's go with the cast first. First, we have Will Smith. Will Smith plays Deadshot. Deadshot is a fantastic assassin. I really loved Will Smith. Will Smith is, other than Harley Quinn, which I'll get to, Will Smith was probably the star of the film. He's got the biggest name out there, which makes sense. He was fantastic. It was kind of like the Will Smith of old, like Independence Day Will Smith, where he was still this tough guy, this action star, this hero of this group, even though he is technically a villain. But he also had the one-liners in there, and they weren't like over-the-top one-liners. They were perfect for his character. They were perfect for the quips, the one-liners, the smart-assness that we know Will Smith from the early '90s, and it was great. It was used at the correct time. And man, when he was Deadshot, and they let him have his weapons go off, it was fantastic. There's a scene where the entire Suicide Squad, the entire group of them, are taking on the villains' henchmen, their army, and they're all hacking up the army with axes. You know, Harley's beating him with a bat, and everyone's shooting everyone. And then Will Smith, Deadshot, he's got his own action sequence. The camera focuses on him mowing down all these creatures, and it's fantastic. Will Smith making Deadshot look like a fucking badass, and it's great. And I love with Deadshot, he's a great, he's not, but he's a great sympathetic character, because a lot of what he's doing for his daughter. And it's, like I said, it's not a great thing because, you know, he's killing people, but he's doing it for his daughter to have a better life, because, you know, he's divorced, he doesn't have custody of her, and of course, you know, he was arrested, so now he's doing this mission for her to make sure she will be taken care of in her future. We got Margot Robbie, or Robbie, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, as Harley Quinn. And like I said, I don't remember a lot of Harley from the animated series, but here Harley is great. Margot is very good at times giving Harley an innocent quality, but you know she's deadly. I loved seeing her backstory, okay, because everybody in this has a backstory, and seeing hers, she was the Joker's psychologist or psychiatrist in Arkham Asylum. She falls in love with the Joker, and this sick and twisted, like, Sid and Nancy relationship happens, and it's great. I loved the relationship between her and the Joker, played by Jared Leto. But just talking about Margot Robbie herself, like I said, she's very childlike at times, you know, like innocent. But like I said, she's very deadly. You can tell she will kill you within a minute's notice, and she does it like it's just another day in the office. It's fantastic. There are sometimes, like, she's probably the most popular character here that's not the Joker, and at times you could tell it seems like they were throwing in her one-liners just to be funny. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but overall she was fantastic. I mean, the action sequences with her were great. I loved how, you know, she is a part of the Suicide Squad. She's this team. She sees them as somewhat of her family, but then when she sees Joker, when Joker's trying to bring her back, that all gets pushed to the side because she sees the man she loves, and she will do anything to become, you know, a part of that couple again. And it's great. I love that relationship with them. Here's a surprise. We got Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Now, I have never liked Jai Courtney. Okay, I did not really like him in A Good Day to Die Hard. I absolutely could not stand him as Kyle Reese in Terminator Genisys. Wow, Suicide Squad made me love a Jai Courtney character. Captain Boomerang was this thief, and basically he's just a man in it for the money, in it for getting drunk, and just being a badass. He is the comic relief here, and he's great. He's funny, he's witty, he's tough, he's dangerous, like I said, and I absolutely love Jai Courtney in this film. All this action sequence is happening. He's hiding in the background having a beer before he gets involved. It's really, really good. We got El Diablo. Now, where is it? El Diablo? Right here. El Diablo is a former Mexican gangbanger, and I did not know this, but he's actually played by Jay Hernandez. Jay Hernandez is the star of Hostel. Very likable there, and he's very likable here. I won't ruin his backstory because it's very tragic, but because of what happened in his backstory, he's now a pacifist. And he's now a pacifist. He doesn't want to use his powers because he knows how dangerous his powers are, until, you know, he's convinced to use them. And when he does, it shows how dangerous he really can be. And he's, again, a very likable character. Let's talk about Katana. Katana I thought was great. I loved her. They talk about her backstory somewhat. I wish there was more to it, but she is this assassin, you know, use a katana blade. Apparently her katana holds the souls of everybody that she kills. And there's some backstory with her husband and stuff like this that I think they say very little about it, but I think they're doing that to set up for a potential sequel or her to show up in a future DC movie. Loved how she was in here. She's actually not a villain here. She is, we'll get to him, well, she is Rick Flag's like bodyguard or second in command type of thing. So she's actually a good guy. And I liked that because you had the good guy in this group of these villains to show the contrast. And she's wonderful, she's badass. She reminded me of, what the hell is her name? Miho from Sin City. You know, very silent, very rarely speaks. Her words are her action. Great, loved her. Killer Croc. Killer Croc. I am not pronouncing the actor's name. The actor played Heavy Duty in the first G.I. Joe movie. Again, I loved the makeup effects of Killer Croc. He looks very reptilian, very very dinosaur-esque, alligator-esque, however you want to say it. I wish there was more of him because, like I said, other than the Joker and Harley, he's the only one I had heard of about really. And they don't give him a lot to do. I mean, he's the muscle. He's there to be scary looking. He does have one or two lines, maybe 6 at most. But I like what he does say. It's funny, and it means something. Yeah, I wish there was more to him. I was very disappointed when we didn't get a lot of Killer Croc. Let's see. This is Slipknot. All I'm going to say is if you're a Slipknot fan, a fan of the character in Slipknot, of Slipknot from the DC Comics, you're going to be disappointed because he's hardly in this film, and I'm not going to say why. So we're going to leave it at that. This man has no character development, no nothing, but there's a reason why. Now here's the potential spoiler I told you about for the most part, but I said if you've seen interviews and anything like that, fucking chair squeaking. This has already been revealed, so I'm not going to feel bad if I spoil this for you. Now we got Enchantress. Now Enchantress is the villain of the movie. Now she is actually not a part of the Suicide Squad. She never becomes a part of the group because Enchantress was an archaeologist who is possessed by a witch. And it is her that is trying to create this machine with the help of her brother that will help her destroy the world or take over it. I didn't really like that because if she's this all-powerful witch, why would she need a machine to help her do this? I guess it's because she also creates this army. She takes the humans and it looks like she makes out with them. She kisses them and it turns them into these like black creatures with, it looks like sores all over their face, but when you shoot them or you cut them in half, they become ash. But a lot of people had a problem with Enchantress as the villain. I really didn't, for the most part. Other than creating a machine, I thought she was fine. Nothing special, but she didn't deserve all the shit she was getting. I love the CGI look of her when she looks like this. Okay, I love the smoke following her around her. I love when she's not possessing the archaeologist, Dr. Moon. Dr. Moon has to call on Enchantress to take her powers. And the one scene where she calls for Enchantress in the very beginning, Dr. Moon's hand is on a table, and you suddenly see this smoky hand come out of the table, grab her hand, flip it around, and then she morphs into the Enchantress. So I really liked the look of her. I thought her portrayal as a villain was fine. But if you think of it, not a lot of Marvel movie characters or villains are that strong and memorable either, so I don't know why Enchantress is getting shit on a lot. Now, when she morphs into her second form, she looks kind of like Akasha from Queen of the Damned, and she's in the background doing like some kind of dance. That kind of took me out because I thought that was kind of goofy, but other than that, no big deal. We got Rick Flag. Now Rick Flag works for Amanda Waller, and he is basically, let's just say, great FBI agent, blah, blah, blah. He's there to get his job done, and he is the romantic interest of Dr. Moon, possessed by the Enchantress, wants to save her, blah, blah, blah. Great performance, really liked him, believed his badass ability. Very dangerous. I really you feel for him when it's the scenes where he is trying to save the Enchantress. Now, Amanda Waller, like I said, played by, what the fuck did I say her name was? I don't know. Like I said, subtitles. She, I think, was the most dangerous one of this group. She had no fear. She had a job to do with these people. She wasn't intimidated by any of these criminals at all, and she knew about it. She knew that, I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier in the video, all these Suicide Squad members, they have bombs, miniature bombs injected into them. So if they, take off, Amanda, she just hits a button and kind of like, the Running Man. And she was not intimidated by anyone. She didn't give a shit if they didn't like what she was doing. She let them know. And when she gets behind a semi-automatic weapon, she knows how to use this stuff. She reminded me, and it's not because she's black, she reminded me of Samuel L. Jackson. She's probably going to be DC Universe's version of Nick Fury. And I'm totally okay with it. I love, is it Vera? What the fuck is her name? Vera something. Anyways, I love this performance. Very strong, very powerful, intimidating. Kind of like a female James Earl Jones. Really good, with that voice and the sternness. Really cool. Now, let's get to the Joker. Jared Leto. Now, first off, you could tell a lot of Jared's performance was on the cutting room floor because you see more in the trailers and in the previews than was in the film. So there's obviously more to him. Now, this is a whole new take on the Joker. You really can't compare anybody's performance as the Joker throughout the years because everybody's fucking different. Now, I'm not going to lie, it took me a little bit to get used to Jared Leto's performance because they're making him literally a gangster, like a modern version of a gangster. I kept thinking of Scarface, okay? Now, after the first couple initial scenes with him, I rolled with it. I'm like, okay, this is the way they're going to go. It's really different, but I'm going to go with it. And after I got in that mind frame, I enjoyed it. Jared Leto was really good showing how dangerous Joker could be. You don't see too much of that. There's one scene where he's firing with Tommy with an automatic weapon at the group, trying to rescue Harley, or not really rescue her, but convincing her to come back with him. A lot of the stuff is his thugs doing all the work, which is fine. He's like the puppeteer. I just wish they showed us a lot more of what he could do. There's a scene where he walks in and he stabs one of the doctors in the neck with the machine that puts the bomb in there, and that's all the real violent things you see him do to a person. And like I said, I just wish there was more. However, Leto was good. Leto was good in showing that this man could be dangerous, but I think he held back a little too much. I would have loved to have seen a lot more. However, like I said, I loved his relationship with Harley. This man was psychotic, but maybe this helped by taking out some of the footage. You could tell that Joker really did love Harley Quinn. I liked that. I liked how, yes, she's madly in love with him, but I liked the fact that he cared for her more. He really wanted to get her back with him, not just to help him with his crimes, but because he loved her. I liked that a lot because you've never really seen the Joker with a girlfriend in the films before. I mean, Nicholson wanted Kim Basinger or Vicky Vale for him, but she seemed more like a trophy to him. Leto made it seem like he was really in love with Harley, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, you didn't see that, and I liked how someone had like a Mickey Mallory Knox vibe to it in like the flashback scenes. I really enjoyed that. I loved the scene where I loved the rapport between Leto and Margot. When before she becomes, psychotic Harley, and she's talking to him in Arkham, and he's in this straitjacket just laughing at her and stuff like that, giggling, and they're having this conversation. Really great chemistry. Loved it a lot. The action here is fantastic. So much fun. Not too over the top, you would think from a comic book film, more in a realistic, setting. Soundtrack, fantastic. You go from AC/DC, and you have Queen, and you have CCR, and then you throw in Eminem, and the Eminem song works for the scene. It's really great. Yeah, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this soundtrack. What else is there? I really enjoyed the nods to the previous material. I mean, there is a nod of what happened to Superman in Dawn of Justice. Obviously, you see Harley in a scene. She's in her cartoon costume. The checkerboard costume with the little hat. There's a scene where her and Joker are hugging, so that was good. We see her with her hammer. That was cool. Yeah, lots of cool little bit of nods to like the cartoon series where Harley came from. We do see Batman in a couple scenes. Really enjoyed those two scenes. There's a scene with him and Deadshot, and a scene with him and Harley and Joker, and it's just fantastic. Affleck is really good as Batman here. He's doing his job. In Dawn of Justice, I thought he was too much of an asshole. Here, this was like the Batman that we knew. Okay, and I'm trying to say, I really enjoyed Suicide Squad, but I personally think it was overhyped for me with the fantastic trailers and TV spots. I really think if I saw this a second time, I would enjoy it more because my expectations are no longer going to be so fucking high, and that was the problem. I mean, I can't dislike this movie. I had a fun time watching this. Viola Davis, like I said, that's her, Viola Davis. That just came to me. But overall, oh man, I had, other than Slipknot, but no one really cared about Slipknot. They didn't really give him a lot to do. Very, very likable characters all around. Great action, great soundtrack. Like I said, I like the CGI that they used on Enchantress. I don't think she deserves as much crap as a villain that she got. I wish we saw more of Jared Leto as the Joker, as hyped up as. I mean, I knew he wasn't going to be a main character, but I just wish we saw more from Jared Leto, just physically, to see how intimidating he was, how dangerous he was. You didn't get a lot of that. I don't care about the new look. I like the new look. Like I said, Margot Robbie, or Robbie, however you fucking pronounce her, and Will Smith, they were the main characters. They did a fantastic job. This movie made me really enjoy Jai Courtney's performance. All around, like I said, if you don't have your hopes so high, you will enjoy this film a lot. But since my hype for it was so high, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. But now, if I saw it a second time, I think I would enjoy it more than I did the first time. So, if this was out of 5 stars, I'd still give it a solid 4. Fun all around. Definitely see Suicide Squad. I will be, I'll probably most likely buy this when it comes to DVD. Not full price, but when it comes down from like $25 and when they lower it to like maybe $13. Definitely worth buying and watching again. Like I said, I wish we had more Katana, and I wish we had more Killer Croc. But when you got Harley Quinn and Will Smith as they're going to be the main villains, and they got to throw in the Joker, somebody's got to take a back seat. It could have been worse. They could have been Slipknot. So yeah, in the end, that's my review for Suicide Squad. Please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos, film reviews, what have you. Tell your friends. If you like what you see. If you hate what you see, tell your enemies. Tell Grandma. Tell, Uncle Joe down the road. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. for now I say cheers. And you know what? I mean, I just thought about it. My daughter is obsessed with the Suicide Squad trailer. Is it wrong that she absolutely loves Harley Quinn? And my daughter's 4. That she absolutely loves Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is a psychotic mass murderer. Nah, I don't see anything wrong with that. So, cheers and take care.